Let's go. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I ran out of air.
That's the story of my life.
I overestimated. Anyhow, we're still doing the Ukrainian national anthem.
We still are.
Welcome to our show. My name is Mark Allen Lovewell. I'm a folk singer from the island of Martha's Vineyard.
I'm from Martha's Vineyard too.
She's a wonderful songwriter and singer and storyteller and whatever. And
we're here.
We're home. We're back on Martha's Vineyard. And we've got an audience. We've got Carol and John here.
Woo-hoo! Yeah. We got Ashley.
We got Ashley here, all fired up. And let's just say her days are numbered for the show. She's gonna hibernate.
Because pretty soon we're gonna be peeling off layers.
I'm also because I'm running out of wood. So we might. My feeling is that there'll be.
It'll be one or the other.
It'll be a perfect closing to her season.
Yes.
When I run out of wood. And I have space in the yard now that I can mow and all kinds of things. We went through a lot of wood. We had great winter. Anyway, we are so excited you are here.
You're here. Yay. Thank you for joining us.
You are what it's all about.
Look, we got Sharon and Ted are here. We got James Robert Dufour is here. Hey guys.
Oh, wow.
Hey, we got Jenny's here. We got Brad here. We got Dawn and Eric. Woohoo! Thank you guys. That's just all of you who are saying hi. Thank you so much. Dan Waters is here.
Oh my God,
Thanks for weighing in.
Dan, you're getting to be a regular. Oh my God, we're gonna have Dan on the show again. We had him on the show before, but we have to figure that out. But we just got home, so we're kind of easing into this. But Dan Waters is a wonderful Martha's Vineyard poet, songwriter, creative person, photographer. He's in many hats, and it's great to have him not only on the show but also participating. And he's also good at comments too. So pay attention.
That's right. Now
read his comments.
Of,
he jumps in.
Did you just give me the greatest lead-in or not for this next number that we're going to do? It's actually a poem. It's actually a story that Mark wrote. That's on his children's album. The Island, Child's Island?
It's called A Child's Island.
And it's such a great story. When I first heard the recording of this, I just thought, I love this story. Because it's a story, kind of what you were just touching on, but about so many people on this island. And how it really captures the spirit of the difficulty of living on an island, and if you're trying to survive, what you have to do. And I love the way you tell this story in a way that it's so relevant for kids, but it's so relevant for adults as well. So
Thank you.
I think you should
That's
take
a
it
nice
away.
Introduction.
Well, you're
Molly. Gee,
welcome.
no,
I practice so much.
This song I wrote 12 years ago. This
story
I wrote 12 years ago. And it's a story you've heard. Anyone who's ever had a relationship with creative people around you. And
just like Dan Waters we were just talking about.
We were just talking about his enormous gifts that he brings to this community. And
a lot of you paying
pot.
attention here are in this. Yes, a lot of you.
So it's called Jack of All Trades, and it's a child story. A story you would tell a child. Anyone who's ever raised kids, you've heard this story. So
there you go.
We can talk about it later. But anyhow. Whoever said Jack of all trades and master of none, whoever said Jack of all trades and master of none and says it in an unfriendly manner, it is obvious to me, whoever said it never lived on an island. I say, whoever is a jack of all trades is a master, and he very likely will be a master of many things. It's been proven. There is plenty of evidence. When I was a child, I sat one day with Joe Mello, a local fisherman. I thought the world of that man. How good he was in his sailboat. How good he was in negotiating that boat in and around shallow waters. He was a quahogger. He was a fisherman. He was a shell fisherman. He was a landscaper. He was a craftsman. Joe Mello could do many things. And he did most of them well. I was young. I remember sitting down at the dock. There was a whole lot of commotion around us. There were summer people going down to their boats. There were children seated at the dock eating their ice cream cones. And there was Joe. He was in the thick of it all. I don't remember how the conversation began, for we talked often. I told him my life was busy. I had school. I had sports. I had hobbies overflowing. Joe listened as I spoke about my busy life as a kid. You are busy, he said. You should be busy, he said. But someone told me, I said, don't be a jack of all trades and master of none. Well, that got him started. You are too young to hear that, he said. Joe set me straight. He said, how can you be a master of anything if you don't try it all? Put it on, he said. Try it on. If you like it, wear it. Well, Joe was right. I know a lot of people who wear many different shirts. And on the waterfront, it seems like the fishermen who survive do what they love and do it the longest. They do it all, and they get by. I am still young, I say. I am still that boy. And so that's the story, but I want to add to that because
I love it. I love that story.
I want to add to that is that, and I've had this conversation, I think I've even had it with Dan, but I've had it with others as well, is that the art of creation, the art of making something out of nothing, comes from many places, comes from many gifts. You may be working on carpentry project and hearing a song that you love. You may be playing a song and thinking of sailing on the water. And you may be sitting and writing, and you could be covering any number of the loves that you have. And And that is the greatest gift that you can not only share with you and the people you love, but if you could pass that on to a youngster, a young child who's facing so many different pushes and pulls and grabbings and this and that, and say to them they have permission. That's it. And thank you for asking me to do this. This is you can hear this story on a CD. I did a collection of children's songs, and many of you follow my kids and know that they're a product of that.
Absolutely. Lots of encouraging. And I could so relate to that story. When I first heard that story on your album of that, I was like, oh boy, can I relate to that? I wasn't a Jack, but I was a Jill. And it did inspire the writing of this next song. So I think we might have to do this next song.
We have an instrumental introduction.
Vineyard lives a Jack of many trades. He masters while he learns what's to be done. He's skilled upon the land and sea. He even knows the stars, you see. He sings his tales with heart to everyone.
Now on the same dear island lives a Jill with many too. She's mastered all the hats, she's worn a ton.
Probably a ton.
She carves and sews, her flute she blows, and high-tech stuff she even knows. And then sings her songs with heart to everyone.
Now sometimes when two people, both capable and strong, get together, they rub each other wrong. Oh yeah, that was wrong. They might think it's a test, a jealousy fest. Who's the best? When they really should just sit and sing a song. And found how skills they'd learn were much the same. Oh, dang! Did they try to top the other, or see who'd boast the most? No, they listened and they laughed, and then they sang a song of harmony, of rich lives lived then found, two paths joined together, heading on a whole new way. Each takes a turn to lead, then settles back to play, singing harmony, shared stories with laughter and love, shared stories building new ones with laughter and love.
bet you haven't done this in a while.
We haven't done it in a while, but that was
So we're
fun.
a little...
You know, when you haven't done something in a while, you make new discoveries. So that was fun.
So the story about Jack and Jill, she wrote that song.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. So we're on her Molly, and then another story, the Jack of all trades. And anyway, it's really, you know this story. You know the jacket. Well, master of none.
Yeah, I heard that a lot when I was growing up.
It's out there, prevalent.
Mm-hmm. You know, and my parents were really worried about me being this creative soul who'd like to do this and do that and do this and do that. They tried to get me into the insurance business, tried to get me into work in the post office, all these practical things that, shoot me now. I couldn't do it. I tried, I couldn't do it.
Would you, here's an invitation to all of you. You hear the ferry boat horn.
The boat agreed.
The ferry boat horn just agreed. We just heard the ferry boat horn. If you please comment on this topic, because it is, I know it's, for those who live in coastal communities, those who are in farming
or any creative souls, right? What kind of messages did you hear? You know?
I want this show to be inclusive, okay?
That's right.
I want you to feel like you can jump in and say something.
All right. Oh, we got to say hi to Connie. Connie's here. Yay, Connie! Connie's back in town. Oh, we have a good little quote there from Dan is agreeing with your derogatory jack of all trades thing, right? Yep, that's right. But anyway, so good stuff. Thanks for being here and giving your things. Yeah.
It's huge. It's a huge subject, and we all love Ansel Adams' photography, right? So many of us have been following. It's just, beautiful. Even though it's years after he's dead, they still put out his calendars. They still put out these amazing black and white photographs, and you know the story about him was he was trained to be a classical pianist.
Wow. I didn't know that about him. Oh, wow.
How many people do you know in your life? How many? And I bet you got a few on your list. Who are these people who out there have great, functional, perfect, productive lives. And on the corner of their life, they have something going on.
Some creative something.
Some creative thing.
Or multiple creative things.
I know. I have fishing friends who go recreational fishing, and they do all their this and their that.
Well, look at the Fisher Poets Gathering we just came from. How many creative poets and songwriters in the fishing community.
For those who haven't been following,
I got the shirt on.
But 2 weeks ago, we were in Oregon. We were at Astoria, performing at the 27th annual Fisher Poets Gathering, and we were there because we're Fisher Poets. I worked in the fishing related businesses, my son does and whatever, but the thing is that's so amazing. We gathered together with close to 90 people. These are the performers who write poetry. They're fishermen. They work hard. They get their hands frostbit. They get all the issues that are related to the hard work of that. And they write poetry, and they read it, and they share it. And when they speak from the heart, they speak from their soul.
And they tell important stories.
And they tell amazing stories. And
which is a great lead-in for this next song.
I know, I'm talking too much.
This next song is an important story, and it's told by a Fisher poet who wrote this song, the herring song. It's herring season now, and they're starting to come back.
The herring are coming back.
But it's an important story.
I saw a post on Facebook by Buddy Vanderhoop. He said they're coming back.
That's good.
Along with squid. You may celebrate your daffodils. My daffodils haven't blossomed
and
yet.
snowdrops.
But they're green. They're up. Mm-hmm. You have lots of signs that you can wrap yourself around. It's spring.
Pinkle
Daylight
tinks.
saving time is a good one. Mm-hmm. And tell them about
Pinkle tinks. That's our local name for the little peeper frogs. Little baby frog. Beep, 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 beep. That's singing great giant choruses at great volumes, and it's very exciting.
When they start singing, it tells us all, hey, spring. But but a big ingredient to spring is the return of the herring. And river herring, we're talking about herring that migrate, that spend their lives in the ocean, and each spring at this time, they come into inshore waters and spawn.
And not just any inshore waters, they come back to the ones they were born in, right?
They come right back.
It's so cool.
They are the same story, similar to the salmon.
Right.
And when we were out on the West Coast, boy, we got an earful about people who treasure that story about salmon.
And they're working hard to make safe waterways for the salmon.
Oh my God, we could have a whole show just about the efforts on the West Coast to bring back salmon. There are efforts underway to bring back Atlantic salmon. I just have to say this for the record. You can have to do a little bit more Googling to find it, because Atlantic salmon are in trouble. They're serious trouble. And these is a fish that spends its life in the open ocean and comes into the inshore waters, into the brooks and streams to spawn. They're
the herring.
And this is the herring story. The thing about the herring that is cool, river herring, is that they don't, unlike salmon, come up and they spawn and lay their egg, and then they die right there. That's like one big deal. That's it, and they're done. They're done for their life. Herring can come back.
Yay!
Return over and over again. And there's a moratorium on them, and I can't remember what year I wrote it down. I think it's like, we're up to getting up close to 20 years.
Wow.
No, at least 10 years. At least at least 10 years. Yeah, I think it's 10 years. There's a moratorium in Massachusetts. You cannot commercially or recreationally catch river herring, out of concern that those numbers had declined so significantly. I wrote a song to draw our attention to that, because we love herring. We want them back. And if you don't have any idea what herring are, just know that if you love to eat fish, if you love to eat any fish in the ocean, know that fish you eat loves to eat herring. So we're not just talking about the survival of the fish you like to eat. We're talking about the fish, the bait fish that sustains, that supports bait fish, the whole ecology of the ocean.
These are important fish.
You can't survive if you don't eat, right? If you're a fish and you can't eat. Anyhow, we're not going to...
Let's go.
Just get going.
Let's get in a boat.
It's been a long time since I've seen these folks from my living room, I love talking. Never was a spring when the herring didn't come. Never a night when the fish didn't run. Never a thought we'd ever get this way, that they'd be so scarce in this modern day. A humpback whale breaches from a deep dive. Bald eagle flies so way up high. Shiny silver scales and that old fish weir. You gotta love it, boys. The fish are here. These seaside fish were our darlings. We haul them in the morning for the sun. Fast cold water and our hearts were warm. Fish scales they made Priscilla pearls. Wampanoag, Penobscot, and every coastal tribe. Winters were cold, it was hard to survive. Hope of spring came with this fish of the sea. They came a-wiggling, swimming up the stream. Scarce
These fish aren't around anymore. They are so depleted, they're gone from our shore. Don't tell our forefathers we've emptied the banks.
We squander them
And have our greed to thank. These seaside fish were our darlings. We haul them in the morning for the sun. Fast cold water and our hearts were warm. Fish scales they made Priscilla pearls.
when the shad bush blossoms
And the snow melts,
ponds open up
and the creeks let out.
wherever a trickle of fresh water meets the sea. There's a herring waiting to
Come up the stream.
In the darkest night
when that moon rises,
turn that lantern high,
the herring have arrived. Their names connect us to where we should be.
Blueback, alewives, bucky,
And sawbelly. These fish were our darlings. We haul them in the morning for the sun. Fast cold water and our hearts were warm. The ladies, they loved Priscilla pearls. Ladies, they loved Priscilla pearls.
One more time.
Ladies, they loved
Priscilla Pearl.
pearls. Thank you. Thank you. I think they love Priscilla pearls too.
I have to report also, writing the song, there is some evidence they're coming back. The herring are coming back.
That's
and
good
and there's
news.
already among the fishermen, the commercial fishermen, they want access to it because they know that the ships offshore are getting them. So they're saying, well, if they can get them offshore, why can't we get them in state waters?
There's
So
a
they'd
tricky
like
balance.
So they like that moratorium to go away. So the good news is, this is something I learned years ago from a fisherman. It's better to have the fishermen arguing and fighting amongst themselves over about who's going to get what, and who's going to get this, and who's going to get that. That is far better than having the fishermen silent, and there's nothing out there for them to get.
That makes a lot of sense.
So
There you go.
I learned that a long
That's
time
a
ago.
truth. That's a good truth. That's a good
Oh
truth.
my God! Here we go. Do we have the words of this song?
We do.
So
We
that
have.
I can read. Oh
Well,
my
let's
God.
see if we have them elsewhere. No, I think we just have them this way.
Oh,
But
dear.
that's okay.
What
They're
key do we
here.
do it in?
We do capo is the 4th fret, and then you play it in C. So I think that means we're in E. Technically speaking.
I have to be candid with you all. I mean, getting back home from the West Coast took. I mean, we didn't have to draw it.
That's a good thing.
We did take a plane.
But it was, well, we took quite a bit of plane, 2 planes and a bus and a boat and a partridge and a pear tree. They were all involved, and it was at least a 20-hour trip, and then we collapsed. But yes, it's a long haul to get home.
So,
But it's good to be here, and we're finally starting to
there
feel
is-
rested. And then daylight saving time comes along.
and even so, let's see. We're gonna do this. What key?
E, key of E.
Here it is. Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, I love harmonica in this one. It's so pretty.
This song
So pretty.
This song yells out harmonica.
It does. It does.
And it also yells out you.
I'm gonna sing along. It's so pretty. This was something that we said to ourselves a lot while we were out there. When we were like, should we do it? Just get in the boat. This is it. Just get in the boat.
Keep talking.
Just start going.
Because I'm warming up.
And that's all you have to do sometimes. Just commit. Get in the boat. And somehow you're going to get there. Joanna is rowing. Go row the boat, child. Joanna is rowing. Go row the boat, child. Joanna is rowing. Go row the boat, child. Go row the boat and let me go home.
My mama is calling. Go row the boat, child. My mama is calling. Go row the boat, child. My mama is calling. Go row the boat, child. Go row the boat. Let me go home.
The darkness is falling. Go row the boat, child. The darkness is falling. Go row the boat, child. The darkness is falling. Go row the boat, child. Go row the boat and let me go home. Storm clouds are rolling. Go row the boat, child. Storm clouds are rolling. Go row the boat, child. Storm clouds are rolling. Go row the boat, child. Go row the boat. Let me go home.
See the lightning flashing.
Flashing. Go row the boat, child.
I see the lightning flashing.
Flashing. Go row the boat, child.
I see the lightning flashing.
Flashing. Go row the boat, child. Go row the boat. Let me go home.
Michael, row your boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael, row your boat ashore. Hallelujah. Sister, help to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Sister, help to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Joanna is rowing. Go row the boat, fun song.
Oh
my God, that was a fun song.
It's such a fun song. Oh, hey, Joanne. Oh, hey, Connie. Oh, we're just so glad that you're all here with us. Thank you, everybody. And Jenny, everybody. Thank you so much for being here
with us, for sharing this moment with us.
You're inspiring us. You're inspiring us.
Yeah.
So, you ready for a little concertina? Actually, we're ready after a couple of shout-outs. We have a couple of shout-outs. And this is Brad's cue to cue something up in just 1 second after we talk. Well, we're talking about an upcoming gig, right?
We have an upcoming...
That's
we
right.
want to shout out.
That's
Things are getting busy around here in this neighborhood.
Around here? That's
around here. We have a gig.
We got a gig
coming up Thursday. This coming Thursday.
And chowder is involved.
On Cape Cod.
At the Barnstable Historical Society at the Unitarian Church, they're holding this event in Barnstable. So if you're out and about on the Cape, you could come on down to see us at 3330 Main Street in Barnstable. We're going to be there from 5 to 7. That's right. There it is. And Brad's had it on the screen too. The whole thing. We'll post it on Facebook too, so you can see where it is. If you're going to be around, come join us.
So here it is. So the Barnstable Historical Society has been around for a really long time. And they're a great organization, and and this is a chowder fest. And I know
sounds good.
$45 a person.
It's a benefit.
It's a benefit. You're raising money to help. You're helping them, and you're there, and they're helping us.
That's right.
We're going over there to do this gig. It's a really exciting thing.
It's a good menu, too.
It's a good chowder. I mean, they're also, what else is
cornbread, tossed salad, table appetizers, and Barnstable brownies. Barnstable brownies. Oh, boy, that sounds good.
I'll go anywhere if you got brownies.
Beer and wine available for extra, too. So, hey, that sounds good.
That's so good. And this is our future. This is what Molly and I do. This is what we do, and we hope.
We're doing a lot of museum things. It's relevant. We tell a little about the history because a lot of the songs we have a lot of history, and it's a good thing. This is a good story. I love this song.
Remember, just a few minutes ago, I was talking about the fishermen. It's better to have them arguing with each other. Well, this is a song. Haven't done this in a while. It's called No More Fish, No Fishermen. It was written by a guy named Sheldon Posen in 1996. He wrote it in response to the collapse of the Atlantic cod fishery in Newfoundland. This is not a hypothetical. This is a true story. That they had been fishing the cod up in those waters for centuries, and it was the most productive part in the North Atlantic, and the cod, they came from Europe to go fishing for cod, and so this was a huge fishery. It's unmeasurable in terms of what we're thinking of fishing today, but sailboats, fishing boats sailed from Great Britain, from France, from wherever, to the waters of the Grand Banks and south of Newfoundland to fish for cod. And that was a wonderful fishery. It was a wonderful time. And
I'm sure it was inconceivable that it would run out.
So Sheldon wrote this super song, because what happened was the fisheries managers and the fisheries politicians and the fisheries scientists made a mistake. And it's not like pointing fingers at anybody, but it's a mistake that is a lesson for all of us worldwide. Here is this huge, abundant fish. Abundant. Cape Cod didn't get its name for scarcity. They gave it the name because there was so much abundance. But up in Newfoundland, the fishery completely collapsed.
So this is a cautionary tale, and sometimes a song is the best way to get a cautionary tale.
And they imposed moratoriums. They shut down the fishery immediately. To no more fishing, not even recreational fishing. They shut it down, and it still hasn't come back to the degree to make anybody comfortable. it's still uncomfortable up there. And so we're lucky down here. We're kind of moving along. But anyhow, this is a song that needs to be sung.
Needs to be sung. And there's a line at the end of every stanza here. No more fish, no fishermen. You can sing along that one. If you don't know any of the other ones, definitely you can join in on that. The key's in there somewhere. You'll find it.
I talk too much. Out along the harbor reach, boats stand dried up on the beach, ghosts like in the early dawn. Empty now, the fish are gone. What will become of people now, trying to build a life somehow? Our times are back again. No more fish, no fishermen. No more shoppers in the stores, since the fish plant closed its doors. Men who walked the trawler's decks now line up for welfare checks. There are big for sale signs everywhere. Packets are empty, cupboards bare. See it on the news at 10. No more fish, no fishermen. Once from Ship Cove to Cape Race, Port aux Basques to Harbor Grace, Newfoundlanders fish for cod, owing merchants trusting God. They filled their dories twice a day. They fished their poor sweet lives away. They could not imagine then no more fish, no fishermen. Back before the Second War, we could fetch our fish inshore. Boats were small and gear was rough. We caught our fish but left enough. And now there's no more fish because the trawler fleets took all there was. We could see it coming then. No more fish, no fishermen. Farewell now to stage and flake. Get out for the children's sake. There we are. Leave all friends and kin behind. Take whatever. Oh, let's do that chorus.
Oh yeah, do that one again. Here we go. Farewell.
I get emotional.
I know. Farewell now to stage and flake. Get out for the children's sake. Leave all friends and kin behind. Take whatever job you find.
There's some that say things aren't so black. They say the fish will all come back. Who'll be there to catch them then? No more fish, no fishermen. No more fish, no fishermen. No more fish, no fishermen. I was getting all choked up in the same place you were. It's so emotional. Get out for the Sheldon
children's
wrote
sake.
a great song. And I talked to him on the phone because I needed permission to sing his song. It's recorded. I recorded it on my CD. And he's a nice man. He's a sweetheart fellow. in Canada, and he wrote this song.
It's a beautiful song.
And the melody comes from an old folk tune. So it's like an old tune. That's why it sounds familiar.
Now, to contrast things going away and being scarce, suddenly we had an addition, a comeback in this part of the Atlantic Ocean that was spotted 30 miles south of Nantucket.
Hey!
Surprise!
It's the big news, and it happened last Friday. The folks from the New England Aquarium were up in the air flying south of Nantucket, and they found one gray whale.
One gray whale!
Gray whales haven't been spotted in, well, they're starting to see them, but they haven't been spotted in these waters in over 200 years.
And there was one.
That's a big story.
That's
a huge story. You on this show, you all know, you followed us. We talk about the right whale this and the right whale that, and that's a huge story. I think this is a huge piece of that, and I think that as we try and bring ourselves around to the idea of actually saving right whales and making them part of our community stories, coastal story, we might see more gray whales. This might be an outcome. Who knows? There's plenty of scientific this and scientific that going on right now. But one of the things that has been floated was the idea is that gray whales have come on around through the Northwest Passage because it's no longer ice at certain times of the year. So they could be coming from the Pacific coast. But isn't that a wonderful thing? I mean, my goal is that there's plenty of fish and marine mammals in the ocean. You can't survive if we're emptying the ocean. Sustainable is essential. It's not only essential, it's mandatory. It's required. We got to bring these creatures back because we have no business being in charge. We have no business being in charge of what fish, what creature should be allowed to survive in the Atlantic Ocean. We have no business. That's not our job. So that's a big deal. And please, I encourage you, Google it. Google the story. Gray whale in the Atlantic. When we were on the West Coast, we were on the beach. Molly saw her first gray whale.
It was so exciting. It was so cool.
We're in Moss Landing.
It was just out there doing its whale thing, you know.
Doing its whale thing.
There was a spout, and it just went like that in the water. No drama, just being out there doing its thing. But it was so cool to see it right off the shore. We weren't even on a boat, right near enough to see.
And the fun part about it, I get to be excited about it in another level, is that the beach we were standing on at Moss Landing was about 1,000 feet away from where my son's office is. And
his business, his fishing business, yep.
Gray whales there before. Gray whales are an amazing story. It's a great story. If you ever want to explore, find it. They feed off the bottom. They're unlike right whales or whatever that feed on the plankton on the surface. These whales go down. They go into the bottom and they look for food that way. And they're smart.
I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking we have only time to do one more of these songs. I'm kind of thinking maybe we do that one. What do you think?
Okay, we'll do it.
Is that good? Yeah. All right, we got another concertina song coming for you. This is a very important song that has a soloist.
Pay attention. Watch Molly. Walking all about, there is the second mate gait so steady and so stout. What he is thinking of, he doesn't know himself. Well, we're wishing that the second mate would what? Strike the bell! Strike the bell, second mate. Let us go below and look well to windward. You can see it's gonna blow. And look at the glass, you can see that it is fell. Well, we're wishing that the second mate would what?
Strike the bell!
Down on the main deck, working at the pumps, there is the larboard watch longing for their bunks. Looking to windward, they see a great swell, where they're wishing that the second mate would what? Strike the bell! Strike the bell, second mate. Let us go below and look well to windward. You can see it's gonna blow. And look at the glass, you can see that it is fell. We're wishing that the second mate would what?
Strike the bell!
Aft at the wheel, poor Anderson stands, clinging to the spokes with his cold wooden hands. Looking at the compass, well, the course is clear as hell. Well, he's wishing that the second mate would what?
Strike the bell!
Strike the bell, second mate. Let us go below and look well to windward. You can see it's gonna blow. And look at the glass, you can see that it is fell. And we're wishing that the second mate would strike the bell. Forward on the forecastle head, keeping sharp lookout. There is a Johnny, he's ready for to shout. Lights burning bright, sir, and everything is well. Well, he's wishing that the second mate would what?
Strike the bell!
Strike the bell, second mate. Let us go below and look well to windward. You can see it's gonna blow. And look at the glass, you can see that it is well. We're wishing that the second mate would strike the bell. One more verse. Aft on the quarterdeck, our gallant captain stands, looking out to windward, his glasses in his hands.
What he is thinking
of, we all know very well. Well, he's thinking more of shortening bell than strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate. Let us go below and look well to windward. You can see it's gonna blow. And look at the glass, you can see that it is fell. And we're wishing that the second mate would what? Wishing that the second mate would what?
Strike the bell!
Wishing that the second mate would strike the bell.
I missed that bell.
Yeah, she didn't take it with her when we went to the West
Coast. That would have been a little, definitely an overweight bag for that one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's that time already. Oh, we love this, being with you guys so much, and I always hate when it comes to this time in the show.
A little ginger beer right now,
we
just
can have
because
a toast.
I'm thirsty.
Let's have a
Oh my
toast.
God, you're a wonderful audience.
Well, toast to you. Toast to being home with you.
Let's toast together here. To all of our friends,
Yay!
here and afar, to all of you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Do you want to say anything nice about the people who help us?
Yeah. We got to real quick before we start singing. Thank all of our
I'll put
sponsors.
some music behind you while you do
Oh, good. Oh, I like it. So we got to thank our sponsors for sure for helping us out. Patreon people find us, and you can find out stuff about our how to help us out and how to also be part of the team and know where we're going and how to find us on mollyandmark.com. And we want to thank Brad and the Fisher Poetry Archive for doing our video editing and putting those things up on YouTube so you can find them there. The archives of the podcast, which you can find in any of your favorite podcast place. And also we have our local cable access at Martha's Vineyard MVTV station and CCM out in Salem, Oregon. You can watch us in a video or a TV show out there too. So you can find us a lot of places, and we're just glad wherever you find us that you're here helping us celebrate our maritime history, our maritime concerns, our love of island life and being on the water and sharing all that with us. Thank you.
And a special shout out to Carol and John
for being here in person.
It's really remarkable. It's just so wonderful. Carol and John, they come to our show.
They come, and we have room for an audience of two.
When we were performing at the Federated Church, they were lugging. They were volunteering, carrying things. We actually have this amazing, you and others, help us out. And
it's wonderful.
That's huge. I mean,
it is huge. And thank you for you.
We're not even a non-profit organization, though we really haven't made any. We're not non-profit.
Officially.
We're just not. We thank all the volunteers and support we get from all of them.
That's
and
right.
Those are Patreon people, and what a thank you.
That's right. I'll sing along.
One frosty morning. This is good.
And the sails were full of snow. Tighten those sheets and pull in those halyards. Let her off and let her go. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. To Ashley, rolling home to dear New England, rolling home where it's warm. We're gonna be.
All right, last verse. Thank you for joining with us tonight.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the days ahead.
Yeah.
Come to the show on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Love to see you. Or tell your friends.
Yeah. Many thousand miles behind us. Many thousand miles to go.
Martha's Vineyard.
Here we are, rolling home, back home, near God to thee. It's good to be home.
Good to be home.
Yeah. Good to be home. We had the best adventures and we loved being all the places we visited. But it's good to be home.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
And I was just impressed by how sweet people were. So kind to us.
We had the best time. We love you all, near and far. Thanks for joining us.
Come all young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. Blow, ye winds, westerly, westerly blow. We're bound to the southward, so steady she goes.